Hi, this is Emma and welcome back to my channel. I'm excited to bring you the 12 Days of Christmas mini-series. For day 10 we're going to be making the polar bear chocolate orange cover. For this project you will need DK yarn, and I'll list the amounts in the description below, a 4mm crochet hook, scissors, darning needle, stitch markers, 1.5mm black buttons which are optional, and of course a chocolate orange. Let's begin. To start we're going to create a magic ring, so we'll wrap the yarn around our fingers, inserting my hook under the front loop, grabbing the second loop and securing with a chain. Into the magic ring we're going to work 8 half double crochets, so yarn over, insert and pull up a loop. We'll have 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through all 3. And again, yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, 3 loops, yarn over and pull through all 3. And we're going to repeat that until we have a total of 8 half double crochets worked into the magic ring. We'll then pull on the tail to close the magic ring, and we'll join to the first stitch with a slip stitch. Moving on to round 2, we're going to chain 1, which does not count as a stitch, and we'll work 2 half double crochets into every stitch around. Pull on the tail to tighten the magic ring. Be careful not to work into the slip stitch from the previous row as it doesn't count, and we'll slip stitch to join. On to round 3, we'll chain 1, we'll work 1 half double crochet and we'll increase into the next, so that's working 2 half double crochets into the same stitch, and this will be our pattern repeat, 1 half double crochet followed by an increase. Joining with a slip stitch at the end. On to round 4, we'll chain 1, we'll then work 2 half double crochets, so 1 and 2, and then we'll work an increase, so 2 half double crochets into the same stitch, and this will be our pattern repeat, 2 half double crochets followed by an increase. And then we'll join with a slip stitch at the end. Rounds 5 to 10 are worked the same way. We'll chain 1, we'll then work 1 half double crochet into every stitch around, slip stitch in at the end of each round, and we'll repeat this for 6 rounds. On to round 11, we'll chain 1 and we'll work a single crochet, so that's insert and pull up a loop. We'll have 2 loops on our hook, yarn over and pull through 2. We'll repeat that again, or another single crochet, and we're then going to be working an invisible decrease. So on the top of our stitches we have V's. You'll have the front loop and the back loop. The invisible decrease works in the front loops only, so we'll pick up the front loop of the first stitch, the front loop of the second stitch, we'll yarn over, pull through both loops, 2 loops on our hook, we'll then yarn over and pull through 2. and we've turned 2 stitches into 1. And this will be our pattern repeat. So 2 single crochets followed by a decrease, which will be single crocheting 2 stitches together using the front loops only. We'll then fasten off and finish off with an invisible join. So just pulling our hook up so the loop comes loose, we're going to attach a needle onto our tail. You'll have your tail coming out of the last stitch that we created, and then we need to locate the first 2 stitches of the round. The invisible join is going to create a false loop over the first stitch of the round. So we want to insert our needle under both loops of the second stitch. So we'll just pull that through. We then want to insert our needle directly down the centre of the last stitch, so where the tail is coming out, and we want to pick up both loops. Moving the tail out the way so we can see the first stitch. I'm then going to insert my needle directly down the centre of the first stitch for securing. Picking up both loops, so we've gone through the last stitch and the first stitch of the round. We'll then just pull, and we want to pull it so that the loop that we're creating is the same size as the rest of all of the other stitches. We can then go ahead and sew in our ends and fasten off. Moving on to the muzzle, we're going to start by creating a magic ring, and we'll secure with a chain. And into the magic ring we're going to work 6 single crochets. And then we'll pull on our tail to close the magic ring. For round 2 we're going to place 2 single crochets into every stitch around. So moving on to round 3, we're going to single crochet in the first stitch. Over the next 3 stitches we're going to place 2 single crochets in each one. And our last increase. We'll then work 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. The next 3 stitches we will place 2 single crochets in each one. And then finish the round with 2 single crochets. And this is just stretching out the side of our circle. For round 4 we're going to work 2 single crochets. We'll then work an increase in the next stitch. We'll then work 5 single crochets. 2, 3, 4 and 5. We'll then place an increase in the next. We'll work another 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. We'll work a final increase of this round and then finish the round with 3 single crochets. We're then going to fasten off, leaving a long tail to sew to the face, and we'll finish it off with an invisible join. Moving on to the ears, we're going to start with a magic ring, which we'll secure with a chain. And into the magic ring we're going to work 5 single crochet. And we'll pull on the tail to close the magic ring. So the ears are worked in rows, so we are going to turn our work. So we'll chain 1, turn our work, we'll work 2 single crochets in the first stitch. We'll then work 3 single crochets, 1, 2 and 3, and then we'll increase into the last stitch. On to row 3, we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. We'll work an increase in the first stitch. We'll then work 5 single crochets, 3, 4 and 5, and we'll finish the row with an increase in the last stitch. We'll then chain 1 to fasten it off, leaving a long tail for sewing to the head. And we can go ahead and sew in our magic ring tail, and of course we'll need to make a second ear. For the eyes, if you wish to crochet them, we'll start off with a magic ring and secure with a chain. Into the magic ring you'll work 6 single crochets, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and we'll pull on the tail to close the magic ring. We'll then fasten off and finish with an invisible join. This can be tricky as it's quite a small circle, but it's worked in the same way, making sure that you go through both loops of the second stitch of the round, back down the centre of the last stitch, picking up both loops, and then again down the centre of the first stitch of the round, picking up both loops, and tighten in your stitch till it's the same size as the rest of your stitches. You'll then make a second eye in exactly the same way, or you can choose to use 1.5mm black buttons instead. For the nose, we'll start off with a magic ring and we will secure with a chain. Into the magic ring we're going to work 2 single crochet, so 1 and 2. We'll work a half double crochet. We'll then work a double crochet, a half double crochet, and a final single crochet. We'll then pull on the tail to close the magic ring. We have our nose, so we're going to fasten off and finish with an invisible join as we did with the eyes, and this will be your nose complete. Moving on to the assembly, I'm going to sew the nose to the muzzle first before we attach it to the head. So making sure that we have it the right way, so we want the double crochet pointing downwards, and you can see that our muzzle is almost a very triangular shape, so we want one of the points facing down, and we're going to place the nose on one of the flat edges in between 2 of the increases, with the double crochet pointing down towards the base of the muzzle. And then we'll just add a few stitches to attach it. Once it's attached, I'm going to come out the base of the nose, so through the double crochet stitch at the bottom with my tail, and I'm going to place a long stitch down towards the base of the muzzle. and then we can fasten off, sew in all of our ends and hide them on the back of the muzzle, as this will be hidden once it's attached to the face. We'll then sew our muzzle to the face, so we're going to line the bottom of the muzzle up with the bottom of the head, and we'll just sew all the way around until it's attached. We'll then attach the ears, so I've placed them between rows 2 and 6 on the side of the head. And we'll repeat the same for the second ear, attaching between rows 2 and 6 on the other side of the head. We'll then attach the eyes, and I'm going to attach them between rounds 5 and 6. I'm using the buttons, but you can choose to use your crochet eyes instead. So we will just knot the buttons to the face, and each eye will be placed roughly 5 stitches apart, just above the muzzle. We'll then attach the other eye in the same way. And this will be our polar bear complete, so we can bring in our chocolate orange and pop him on. And he's done. I hope you've enjoyed the video for the polar bear. Thank you for watching. Please do consider liking and subscribing. It really does help my channel out. And I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Bye!